kept pushing on, but then you went too far. When your ship has sailed and all your dreams are lost, everything is wrong, you feel like it's your fault. Just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call me. Just call me. Just call me. Just call me. You're stronger now than you ever been. You gotta leave now, it's time to catch the wind. You will climb up high and look through the clouds, and when you're feeling low, I know you'll bounce back. Oh, and just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call me. Just call me. Just call me. Just call me.
It is going great here. We are at Talladega Super Speedway, my favorite track on the Cup schedule here, with the RFRL Racing League. And you know, before we get this broadcast started, Liam, we're gonna take care of one piece of housekeeping here tonight, and we have to apologize to the race fans here for not being on air New Year's Day. We did not realize that there was a race happening last Thursday. We weren't made aware of it until, you know, after the fact, and we do apologize. So, but we're on the air now, and we're going forward, and we're in for one great show here. We got 13 drivers signed in here today and ready to do battle, actually. Yeah, as Liam was saying, is these guys are ready to rock and rumble here at this baddest 2.66 mile tri-oval here. And Liam, as we're 2.5 minutes away from going green here, a couple of these drivers, look, it's a race anybody can win,
It absolutely is. Apologize for the audio issues I was having on my end. But yes, this is absolutely a race that anybody could win. 13 drivers showing up here, 70 laps, and it's going to be an absolute... What's the word, Alan? Not a crapshoot, but it's anybody's game.
It is anybody's game. And, I mean, even Mickey Mouse could go out there and win this race. You just gotta be in position to win. It's this is one of those tracks that a lot of drivers, and Liam, you can attest to this as being somewhat of a driver yourself. A lot of these guys have a different mindset. There's 13 guys on this racetrack tonight that think they can win this race, that they know they can win this race. And I'm willing to bet dollars to donuts that Nate Lesko is going to be my pick tonight to win this race.
And Nate Lesko has had himself a phenomenal season so far, capping numerous wins already. But this is going to be a little bit different of a game here at Talladega. It's going to require some help to get it done, to get moves done, and you've got to find yourself in the right position at the end if you want to find yourself in victory lane.
Yeah, absolutely. Here's we got about a half a minute left here, warm up. And right now, the fastest in this warm up session is Cody Deek with that Oath Racing. But he's got Thomas Wynn in that 71 car. They're practicing drafting. And the other thing, too, Liam, is tires really aren't, in my opinion, aren't going to be a factor. But getting on and off pit road efficiently, waiting until that final commitment. Some of those drivers are going to push the absolute limits on these, getting on the pit road as late as they can. And that's where those errors could be made. You can't have errors in this league. This league is so very hard on it. It's hard to win in this league anyways. But don't add those errors, and you're going to have a pretty good night.
Yeah, you want to make sure that you don't compound any of those errors. We're getting into the nitty-gritty of the season here with just 4 races to go after this. A quick 12-race schedule ending in Chicago in February. But before we get to that, we've got 70 laps to bring you here at Talladega. We're going to go ahead and give you our starting lineup. Starting on the pole today will be Nate Lesko. He's got John Crosby to his outside. Row 2 has Sean Dion and Thomas Wynn. Then we see Todd Parent and Tom Ringer, followed by Brandon Yates and Brian Sousa. David Lewis starts in row 5 with Cody Deek to his outside. And Jonathan McIntosh, Brandon Hinton make up row number 6. Waiting on Diego Acuna to grid here. We'll see if he can get to the grid. Otherwise, we've got 12 of them ready to roll here at the biggest, baddest track in all of NASCAR.
I'm excited. This is like Santa Claus game. Just a little bit late, and put Talladega underneath the proverbial Christmas tree. I'm telling you what, I am pumped. I'm ready. Let's get the 2026 season, half of the season started. Liam, I've been looking forward to this night all week. A little under the weather, coming off of a cold, but what better cough medicine than to get back on the mic and to hang out with my good friend Liam.
Yeah, it's going to be an absolutely incredible night here. And I've seen a lot of these next-gen Talladega races tend to run long in terms of not seeing a lot of yellow flags, long green flag runs. With only 12 drivers here, I would imagine we're going to see some of that, but you're not going to be able to make it to the end without seeing your pit crew at least once or twice. So That's going to be a chance to get some separation from the rest of the field if you can get it done efficiently. Like Alan mentioned in the pre-race here, don't expect these guys to take tires really at all throughout the course of this race. I mean, maybe under yellow wouldn't be a bad idea, but it's not really going to affect you a whole lot in terms of the handling. And if you take tires and nobody else does, you give up a lot of track position.
Yeah, definitely throw it in fifth gear and leave it there. That's the name of the game. Don't overheat these race cars. And Liam, bump, draft, bump, draft, bump, draft. Get you a good friend. We're, like Daryl Waltrip says, cooperation for 69 laps.
Yeah, then it's all out brawl for the last one. But Alan, before we let this pace car go to the left and make that hard turn, you brought up a really good point there, overheating. You want to bump draft. You want to try to create that run as much as you possibly can. You get a couple of cars in line, you can do that really efficiently. But if you don't get enough air to your nose, you are susceptible to a blown motor, and well, you don't want a blown engine. Here we go. Coming into the restart zone. These guys are ready to rock and rumble. Green flag is in the air, and we are racing here in Talladega. Side by side as they go through turns 1 and 2. Dead even up front. Now the inside's going to get a little bit of an advantage, but coming up off of 2, expect that outside to start pulling up as John Crosby noses out front. Here comes a big shove from the 3 of Sean Dion to the 20 of Lesko. The 73 gets clear for a moment. He's going to use that opportunity to get down in front for the lead. Now can the 71 get up there and make a move? Thomas Wynn moves into second.
Yeah, John Crosby moved down. That's that classic Talladega line. That's that classic Talladega move that we see all the time. That front line, that top line, uses the outside to get up to the front. Then they drop off that top line onto the bottom line. And Liam, we're going to play a big game of stake for 20 or for 70 laps. That's all this is going to be. At the end of this race, you don't want to be on the first car or the second car. You want to be third or fourth in either line, because that's going to give you the best shot of slingshot past that leader of Thomas Wynn right now, leading that inside line. But Tom Ringer in that 68 car, he is leading the charge on the outside line, and that outside line just don't have enough cars to make it work.
Yeah, I was going to say, expect to see that outside lane be able to make runs at the lead, but you're going to need some help. 2 or 3 cars is not going to be enough to do it. Although they can try, they can get close. It's really tough to break out front and take that lead unless you get a little bit of break in the draft like you saw from those 2 on the inside. Here comes Tom Ringer to the outside. He's going to try to take the lead. Doesn't lead that lap, but he noses out front getting into turn number 1. We're going to see a lot of that today, Alan, too. Lead changes.
Yeah, lead changes are going to be plentiful. Now, here's the thing. Here's the one thing I always experienced at Talladega, and you're going to see it here. That back car, he gets so good of a run, he's either going to clobber the car in front of him, or he's going to have to move out of line and kill his run. As you see, the outside line just got a little bit of an advantage right now. They got just enough horsepower, but here comes the inside line roaring back.
Yeah, huge run on the outside going into the corner. They had to check up. They got a little bit out of sync, and now the outside's going to come back. Tom Ringer up on the outside, trying to lead a lap here. Looks like he's going to lead this one by half a car length.
Yeah, looks like that 70, or the, whoa, hello. It looks like Deke there was just about to help him. They had a really good run going, and Tom Ringer does what everybody else does. He's blocking. Already, we're 4 laps in, he's blocking that outside line.
Hey, sometimes you got to do what you got to do, and if you want to try to learn something, the beginning of the race is the time to do it. However, blocking can be incredibly risky. You don't want to find yourself in trouble only a couple of laps into this thing. This guy's working lap number 4, coming to lap number 5.
Well, just as you saw there, Thomas Wynn went to the outside. He abandoned that inside line, so there's nothing here for me. I want to get back up in front. So now he's going to use Souza as a pick. And there he goes. He's going to dive right back to that inside line here, I would suspect, coming off of turn number 2.
We will have to see. These guys are moving and shaking big time. We're seeing a lot of movement up here at the front. There's now you see Sousa trying to get up side by side with the 71, who moves down in front of Tom Ringer. Big time bump getting into turn number 3. And these guys are showing a lot of sparks here as they move through the corners. Gotta believe everybody is as low to the ground as they can possibly be.
Well, here's the thing about Talladega Super Speedway that not a lot of people realize. Now, I learned this watching the Dale Jr. download. There's 2 yellow lines, so it doesn't look like a lot of space, but you can actually dip your tires below that first one and be okay. And you can find a little bit of grip down there, but you don't want to turn your car into it, because that's when you'll start to get those sparks. That's when that car will bottom out.
That can definitely give you a weird feeling in the car. It can kind of tighten up the car, make you feel like you've got no grip on those tires. If you're side by side with somebody, it can create a really sketchy moment between you. So you see a little bit of looks towards 3 wide at the back of this field. That is the 69 of Todd Parent. Got Brandon Hinton and David Lewis is trailing this group. Diego Acuna did not start this race. He could be race control.
See that.
Maybe just didn't start. But
The other thing too, Liam, I want to point out also is these cars sit so low to the ground that they're gonna bottom out. And one thing else is when they come off that turn 1 and they come off turn 4, these cars get really, really light. They get really loose on corner exit. So you got to be careful when bump drafting these cars. And this iteration of Cup cars, the Fords are like the drafted Chevys. You're never gonna get sucked up if you're a Ford or a Toyota. These Fords will draft well together. So I imagine that the Fords are gonna draft with the Fords, and the Chevys are gonna try to draft with their Chevys, with the Chevy counterparts that they're with.
you know, it all works on paper. Mike Tyson said, everybody's got a plan until they get punched in the face. Yeah, the last lap's going to hit like a punch in the face, and your plan is going to go right out the window. You're going to have to work with whoever you're around, but you've got a good point there. These guys are going to want to get together with their teammates, and especially with a pit stop coming later on in this race. Maybe 2. These guys have 80% fuel, but I believe they should be able to get to that 35-lap range.
Yeah, and here's the thing. And I've seen this in Talladega races. You've been in Talladega races. I've been in Talladega races. When you hear 5 laps left on your pit window, you're gonna go, I can make it 5 more laps. So once you get to lap 35, they might try to stretch to lap 40, stop at halfway, and once they figure out they can make that 40 laps, guess what? They're gonna make it the rest. They're gonna make that 30, and make it a one-stop race.
You're doing that Missouri math thinking it was an 80-lapper, huh?
Yeah. it worked
30,
out in my
35
head.
is the magic number here today. If you can hit 35, you can make it on one stop. I'm not sure how possible that is, but these guys are going to show us throughout the course of the next 62 laps. Going to be 61 when they come across the start-finish line. Tom Ringer is your race leader over Brian Sousa and Cody Deek, Thomas Wynn, and David Crosby's worked his way up into the top 5.
Yeah, with just 61 laps to go here from Talladega. These guys are playing nice through 10 laps. And I tell you what, Liam, as long as they continue to play nice, here's the thing. Some people, tend to shy away a little bit from super speedway racing because it's a lottery,
Almost a little bit of contact there between Deke and Ringer. Side grab pulls that third team back. That's going to kill their run, but they're going to get another one coming up out of turn number 4 here. Only 3 of them up top right now, but they're making something work.
And that's the thing. If I was on top, if I was on the outside line, it would be slow go. It would be a proverbial parachute on my race car.
Alan, I think that's just to do with your driving style.
I think that's why I'm probably better up here than I am on the racetrack. I don't know.
Nah, never give up on driving on the racetrack. It's too much fun to stop doing.
I know.
These guys are having a lot of fun racing for the lead here. You've got a group of 3 versus a group of 5, and I know that's a line of 9, but it seems like those 5 all the way back to Nate Lesko are really trying to make a little bit more happen. Now you see Thomas Wynn in the 71 fall off a Ringer's back bumper just a little bit. It's going to allow those 3 on the top just a hair more momentum, but through the tri-oval, 60's going to have the advantage. Gonna hold on to the lead by a car length as these guys complete the 11th lap of this race. 59 to go as they cross the stripe.
Liam, I have a question for you.
What you got, bud?
What are you doing next Saturday? What are you doing next Sunday night?
Probably watching football. Unless you've got
Well,
something.
I got a way better thing than football because right now, your beloved Vikings are so far out of the season. I think they're in. But
Oh yeah, no, they got eliminated weeks ago. But that's besides the point.
don't forget, next Sunday, January 18th, at 8 o'clock Eastern, is the Charity Cup Series debut here on Sim Racing Media, the J&S Paving Company 120. Every viewer that we get, it's a charity race. There's drivers are racing for charity, and it's going to be a fun event put on by Sim Racing Media in the Charity Cup Series League.
And Alan, is
Check
that
us out.
something that's available for people to potentially race in as well?
Yeah, you know what? Get with Curtis. Join there's a QR code. I'm going to work on getting this for the next broadcast for Thursday night. Get with Curtis Mitchell. Come to our Discord and, reach out to ourselves on Facebook, and we'll get you pointed in the right direction. But I mean, if you want to enter the race, it's a $15 entry fee, and they're going to do it. This isn't the only one. They're doing a whole series with this. So each driver is paired up with the charity, and some of the money goes to 75% of the prize goes to the charity, and the other 25 goes to the driver. So some really cool charities are involved. So make sure you check us out next Sunday if you don't want to race. It'll be a really fun time.
Everybody single file here as they work number 15. Brian Sousa holds out of the race lead with Thomas Ringer, Cody Deek, John Crosby, and Nate Lesko in the top 5. Then Sean Dion, followed by Yates, Parent, Hinton, Lewis, Wynn, McIntosh. Everybody's still in this lead draft here, Alan, and I can't say I'm super shocked these guys are playing nice this early in the race.
I mean, it's lap 15. They're going to play nice. You wait until 10 to go, and it's going to be an all-out slugfest. Single foul, they know they got a little over, they're 15 laps away from 30, 20 laps away from that crucial pit stop.
Got to see some of the fancy footwork of holding the throttle from Brian Sousa before we take a look at this line of cars right behind him. And you can see everybody kind of snaking around. That's the air buffeting these cars, moving them around. See a couple of them trying to look up to the outside back there, but nothing really doing at the moment. Just trying to get some air to their tires, or not their tires, but into their grills and into their engine, just to keep that thing cool. But at this point, nobody's really pushing anyone super hard, so I can't really anticipate overheating being a huge issue.
Yeah, absolutely. And you got to know when to back off. You can push that driver in front of you, but you got to know when to back off and it gave that car some breathing room. As we can see, those sparks pretty prevalent. You know, and the weather right now in Talladega, Alabama, is a little partly cloudy. You know, and a little cooler today. The track temperature not too hot, so it's the perfect storm.
Kind of is that perfect storm. Everything's overcast right now. These guys are patiently waiting to make moves. Top 8 single file. You see the 69 of Todd Parent trying to make a move to the outside, but nobody really close enough to make that move work. Brandon Hinton just behind him. David Lewis rocking the Dynaco 53.
I love it. I love the cars. I love the cars paint scheme.
You can never go wrong with the King strip weathers.
Okay, can I ask you a question? Is it weird as an adult I went to the movie theater to watch cars by myself?
No.
Okay.
That's what race fans do. Another cool paint scheme just up in front of these guys is Todd Parent. Not driving the Tide ride, it's the Todd rod. A little bit of a moment there with Cody Deek moving up to the outside. Caused a checkup on the inside, and now Deek is going to fall back a couple of positions, back to 6th.
Oh boy. You know, here we are, 20 laps in, or 19 laps in, working on lap, 20 now. And, I mean, these guys are just so well behaved. I mean, I couldn't even get a kid to act this nice right now. A little bit of a bump right there from Ringer to Sousa. You know, that courtesy bump to say, hey, still back here. Nobody really trying to get a breakaway going. That's what surprises me. Everybody's still hanging around with each other. Now that 4th car in line, that is Nate Lesko in that 20 car. That car makes me want to go to the grocery store right now and buy a box of Nesquik chocolate milk mix.
Yeah, it gives you vibes of the old 10 machine in the Busch series, and that's kind of what the sponsors were going for back in the day. I mean, still now, but you see it on the race car, it makes you want to go buy it the next day.
You know that old phrase, win on Sunday, sell on Monday, right?
Yeah, goes for more than just the cars.
I mean, how many products you use because you saw it on the side of a race car?
There was a time where I exclusively drank Amp Energy because it was Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s sponsor. I wasn't quite old enough for the Bud days, but
hey,
well, I also drink Busch Light because it's the official beer of NASCAR. So the sponsorship definitely works.
It does. It does. I love it. I love the fact that they are these cars are essentially rolling billboards. And here's the thing. I love and Liam, we're both dirt racing fans, and we know the dirt racing wraps can get a little congested. I like the clean wraps. I like those clean, one color, 1 to 2 colors. I don't like them busy wraps. I like the Traeger grill there. That looks so good.
Nice quick ride, looking pretty slick. Sean Dion, his Jacksonville Jaguars, looking pretty good. They've got another Liam working for them who's quite successful. Their head coach, Liam Cohen. Got them to a divisional win. Got Bad Company Racing here for Brandon Yates. And, of course, the Todd Hot Rod.
I love that car. That reminds me of the old Ricky Rudd and Darrell Waltrip schemes. Monster Energy on the side of that race car. There's the Dynaco.
Here comes Cody Deek looking up to the outside. He's got a lot of momentum as he's going to try to get around some of these cars who are starting to straggle just a little bit further. Thomas Wynn looks to follow him up to the top, along with Jonathan McIntosh in the 09 car.
Yep, some of these drivers are here in the back are just in danger of losing the draft. If they can get a few more cars to kind of take the bait and go up to the top side, which at lap 23, it's going to be hard to sway some of these guys. These guys are going to start making deals here. And some of these guys here in the back may get off cycle, may wait a lap or two further to go in. So that way they can come out, you know, maybe a little bit further ahead if they think that they can make that work.
You know, kind of interesting social media moment I had the other day, Alan. I was scrolling on TikTok and I found none other than Cody Deek. Found him running in the RFRL Tuesday night Truck Series race. So since I saw him on there, I figure I should let everybody else know. He's at Scales TV. Scales is with a Z. This is his onboard in the race. I'm sure you'll be seeing it on his socials as well. So that was kind of fun, seeing him on TikTok.
Yeah, get over there and support Cody Deek there on TikTok. You know, it's another great way to see a different perspective than what we're showing you here on Sim Racing Media. You know, not to discount what we're bringing you, quality broadcasting every weekend and week out. But I mean, it's cool to see the end cars and some of these drivers' reactions when things go wrong or things go right, or this, that, or the other.
Yeah, you can hear how much Todd Parent is lifting here through the trioval to stay in line. Doesn't really want to make that move up to the front right now. He's got Thomas Wynn to his outside. Not a lot of help on the outside for the 71. And this is one of those weird spots where you can kind of pull a little bit of draft on the inside lane, utilize that side draft on the inside lane, and maybe pull yourself into a spot like we saw Cody Deek in the 13 do just in front of the 71 that we were on board with there. But it doesn't always work, as you see him trying that side draft there with the top machine.
Well, Liam, if your math is right, and which I'm quite sure it is, my math is never right. We are 11 laps away from that crucial pit stop. These guys are thinking about it. They're thinking about the moves that they have to make to get on pit road, efficiently get off pit road. Now, you don't want to slam the brakes getting off a hot racetrack and onto a cold pit road. That is going to mess up the pit road and ruin your race. With 12 cars, it's going to be so easy to bury yourself on pit road. So it's going to be mistake-free, and this is what we're going to be paying attention to the most, is getting on and off pit road and making sure that you have the most efficient stop period or on this race. Don't take tires yet. I don't think they're worn out.
Yeah, I don't really think there's a need to take tires. I mean, when you watch the Cup Series race, what do they do? 65, 65, and then something like that.
Yeah.
They generally don't take tires on their stage stops, or at least under their green flag stops on the stage. So I can't imagine these guys are going to do anything different, especially being under green flag conditions. If that's how it comes to be, you're going to lose so much time sending those guys out there around the car to change their tires versus somebody who's just got to get a can and a half of fuel in.
Exactly, and I mean, you couldn't have said it better. And getting on him, that's going to be the world's largest traffic jam, or in this case, the world's smallest traffic jam. I don't know, but...
And that could also be a prime spot to see an incident here. I mean, these guys don't have to use the brakes at all until they get on the pit lane. Those brakes are going to be cold. Odds are they could find themselves locking up. Last thing you want to do is... there's a lot of last things you want to do in a place like this, because you really don't want to do anything that's going to jeopardize your track position in comparison to this lead draft, but you really don't want to lose time on pit road in any way, shape, or form. Locking up the brakes and speeding onto the pits, or worse, getting damaged from potentially hitting another car or the wall. That could spell disaster if you don't see a yellow flag in this race.
All I'm saying is if you want to slice a humble pie and you're watching this thinking, man, this is a video game, go out, buy an iRacing simulator and go get a slice of humble pie. Because these guys are bad to the bone. Put them in any league and I'm sure they're going to run just as good as their top guys.
Yeah, these guys doing a phenomenal job of week in and week out. And Right now, they're playing very nicely here at Talladega. All 12 cars still in the lead draft, going all the way back to Thomas Wynn, who's just under 2 seconds back.
Oh, Ringer
Ooh.
making a move to the outside.
Is he going to
Oh.
the front or is he going to the back? He's got no help. He's going to lead that lap.
He's going to the front.
Was that potentially choreographed?
I don't know. Well,
It was super clean either way.
I mean, unless he had that much of a run.
It was enough of a run to take the lead nonetheless.
I just don't like that gap between Ringer and Sousa, though. Let's go to the outside. He's looking.
Yeah, these guys start to get a little shifty with their moves. Mostly staying in line, but that snake is definitely moving as they work through these straightaways. Now Lesko moving up to the outside a little bit, fades back to the inside. That
He might be
sounds
trying to
like
close the
pit
car off.
stops could be coming as soon as this lap. For our leaders, I'm hearing reports that the 60 could be coming in. 20's coming in. Yeah, we got a lot of drivers that will be coming in this time. It could be the whole field. We'll see if anybody elects to stay out, try to miss this traffic jam that Alan mentioned.
They must have got that 5 laps left on fuel warning. And here they come. Nice,
Almost
nice,
everybody.
nice.
The Dynaco machine stays out. Some guys locking up.
And, ooh.
Very clean on pit road for everybody. David Lewis stays out, and he is all by himself.
I don't know if he missed it and had to hit the abort button, but that's not going to be very good for David Lewis. That could be his race right there.
Seeing a lot of tires being taken here. A little bit of movement there from the 3. Lesko's going to be the first one off of pit lane. 4 tires out of Thomas Wynn. He's going to struggle to maintain this draft, as is the 3 of Sean Dion getting off of the pit lane. 8 Lesko. In second place, David Lewis comes into the pits. He's coming in all by himself, which, could be the safest way to do it. Could cost him some time, and it could be the safest thing if we do see that caution flag.
Right now, he's gonna have to hope for a caution flag. He's gonna have to pray for one. I've been on that side of the fence before, and it is not fun. You're not having fun at this point. As you ride around and you watch the laps click off, and you just hope for a caution.
And Alan, here's where that separation that you were talking about starts to come into play. Lesko, Crosby, and Ringer, 1, 2, 3. They've got, almost 3/4 second back to the 66, 69, 5, and 13. But these guys have a huge run getting into turn number 1. Got about 5 miles an hour on the top 3. That's going to create a group of 7. Ryan Sousa in the 60 came into the pits from the lead. He falls back to 8th. 5.5 seconds and losing time to the lead. David Lewis is able to get out. Going to find himself in 9th place. Jonathan McIntosh drafting up to him. Thomas Wynn trying to get a hint of their draft. Sean Dion is trailing behind them as well.
So, the 53 car of David Lewis, that could be his one saving grace. If those back-end cars can get together and form a little group, they can slowly just eat away at that lead group, led by Lesko. But they're going to need to get together, stay in line, and just play and follow the leader.
They're almost going to have to fall back and pick up the 3 and the 71. I don't think you can do it with just 2. Granted, they're coming up on Brian Sousa. That's going to make it 3.
Now, I don't agree with that move by the 53 car. He just needs to follow in line, or he can lead the pack. But I mean, if I'm the 53 car, I would have let Sousa be the fuel pig, if you will.
Well, I think the fuel pig game is kind of irrelevant at this point. You're going to have to make another stop. You're not going to be able to make it to the end, so
True.
not really benefiting much by saving fuel. I don't know if these guys are in the business of getting it down to each hundredth of a second of how much fuel you can put in. I mean, some of them might be. I just feel like that's a Sunday
I've seen
job
guys
that.
I've seen guys hammer it out on a calculator.
Larry Mack, his calculator would start smoking. Just about halfway here. 35 laps gonna be complete next time by. Nate Lesko is your leader. Over the 73 of John Crosby, Tom Ringer, Brandon Yates, Todd Parent, Brandon Hinton, Cody Deek, David Lewis, Brian Sousa, Jonathan McIntosh, Thomas Wynn, and Sean Dion rounding out the field. Sean a ways back here on the front stretch. He closed in on Thomas Wynn. These guys have lost a tremendous amount of time to the leaders, almost 20 seconds behind the lead.
Yeah, these two are going to need... They're almost counting on a caution. And maybe this is a strategy move. I don't know. But, I mean, the leaders are going to be coming.
Yeah, they're going to be a considerable amount quicker than these guys in the back of the pack. They might be trying to save some fuel up front, but it doesn't really show anything other than full speed ahead.
Yeah. I think you're looking for the track map.
I'll take a look at some of the lap leaders here today. Brian Sousa has led 18 circuits around this racetrack. Tom Ringer, he's got 8. Nate Lesko currently leads his 7th lap of the race. Thomas Wynn has led for 3, and David Lewis got out front and led a lap. That's 5 drivers who have led a lap today. See if the 73 of Crosby can become the 6th.
I think he can. I think he can. I mean, so here, check this out. So, you know, here in the real world, in the world of NASCAR, there's an announcement coming tomorrow. Or is it? No, it's January 12th.
Yeah,
Sorry.
that's the 12th.
Monday. So everybody, I think it's like a bad secret that NASCAR puts out. But the rumor mill is, and the speculation is that they're going to a chase format again.
Yeah, there's a lot of speculation on what we might see with the NASCAR Cup Series Championship format. You know, I've seen a couple of different iterations of point things that people have thrown together, and you know, some going back to the old Latford system, one creating an entirely new one, and then I see anything from a 36 race championship to you know, the old chase system to some sort of modified playoff.
Yeah.
I say the same thing about rumors at my work. I won't believe it until it's posted.
I like rumors. They're fun.
Nah. I like Trumors.
Okay. I like those too. But nonetheless, Nate Lesko taking that Neswick machine to the front of the field after that pit stop where he essentially just had to pop the clutch when he left pit road. As soon as he dropped the jack, he puts it first, he rolls out of pit road first, and that's how you get Nate Lesko in the lead. Now, right now, we are still 39 laps caution free, and I've seen this numerous times at Talladega where it'll go caution free as we got about 31 laps to go.
Well, with 7 cars in this lead draft, 1 more pit stop to be made, we could find ourselves in a position where there's just a few to fight for the end here, and that kind of goes back to those old classic Talladega races from the 70s, the 80s, almost before the restrictor plates, but a little bit in the early 90s, guys would get separated quite a bit. You would see groups of 4, groups of 5, all throughout the course of the racetrack. Guys struggling to hold on to their race cars, or struggling to get up and draft. These guys aren't really struggling as much with the handling, but staying in this lead draft is a task, and to be able to do it all race throughout the course of 2 pit stops. Only one guy's going to be able to win the race, and he's going to have to be absolutely flawless in all of those aspects of the race. So far, these top 7 have been flawless. That's what you got to do to put yourself in position to win at the end.
Yeah, 100% correct. You got to be the best. And do it smart. Don't be overly aggressive. Because aggressiveness is going to get you nowhere in this league. It's going to get you right on the hauler, on the back of a tow truck. But, if right now, Todd Ringer is sitting in such a good spot that once we get down to that 2 laps to go, that 1 lap to go, the move's not going to be made on the last lap until we get all the way back around to the tri-oval.
I don't know, you might see some guys starting to pull out early, trying to make something happen with a couple of laps. And of course, we do have the opportunity to get green-white checkers.
I just don't see this. I don't think we're going to need them tonight.
I don't think so either, but as a broadcaster, I'm obligated to throw that in there.
We could throw a lot of things in there.
This guy's pretty clean and green up front, but tell you what, these 3 in the back, they're closing in just a little bit, just a couple of tenths per lap. They are definitely closing in, making time on the race leaders. Those guys up front, they're saving fuel. That's going to allow these 3 back here to close in a bit more. I'll tell you what, even Thomas Wynn and Sean Dion, they haven't really lost much more time to the race leaders. They're still sitting around that 20-second mark. We expected them to be losing a considerable amount of time and potentially be going a lap down within the next 10 or 15 laps, but they're sitting right at that 20-second margin as well. I tell you what, if you're David Lewis, you're seeing these guys get bigger and bigger in your windshield. Now, 3 seconds between Deke and Lewis. You get a sniff of that lead draft.
Yeah, definitely. And, he's, like you say, he's seen them cars get bigger and bigger, and not the dinosaur on his hood either.
Speed's starting to pick up front once again here. Guys are closing in on each other once again, and it seems like Crosby wants to get a little bit of gap between him and the race leader on these straightaways, trying to save potentially a little bit of fuel. If he thinks he can save a lap or 2 and maybe get that into a gallon or a little bit less fuel he's got to take, he might be able to jump up to the lead. And, well, the less cars you have in a lead draft, the less chance that somebody's going to be able to make a run on you.
27 laps to go. I think pit stops are going to be coming pretty soon.
Well, the window's open. You can make it from here.
Okay. I think they're going to be able to get there pretty soon. I'm 27 laps to go. I think pit stops are going to be coming pretty soon. Okay. I think they're going to be able to get there pretty soon. Okay. I think they're going to be able to get there pretty soon. I think they're going to be able to get there pretty soon. I think they're going to be able to get there pretty soon. I think they're going to be able to get there pretty soon. I think they're going to be able to get there pretty soon. I think they're going to be able to get there pretty soon. I think they're going to be able to get there pretty soon. I think they're going to be able to get there pretty soon. I think they're going to be able to get there pretty soon. I think they're going to be able to get there pretty soon. I think they're going to be able to get there pretty soon. I think they're going to be able to get there pretty soon. I think they're going to be able to get there pretty soon. I think they're going to be able to get there pretty soon. I think they're going to be able to get there pretty soon. I think they're going to be able to get there pretty soon. I think they're going to be able to get there pretty soon. I think they're going to be able to get 25 to go.
I'd say we're no more than 15 laps away from
Pit
our final
stops.
pit stops.
Now this one will be a splash and go. There's going to be no tires taken on this pit stop. There can't be.
Yeah, I mean, you're likely going to try to take as little fuel as you possibly can to make it to the end. And here comes Cody Deek. Tom Ringer. Deek fires it in. He locks it up. He's going to spin out and hit the inside wall.
No caution.
No caution. He's on the pits, but that could effectively end his race if we don't see a yellow flag later on in the show. Tom Ringer and Todd Parrott get on okay, but Cody Deek, unfortunate entry there.
Is that a black flag? Yep, that's a black flag for speeding.
Yeah, he'll definitely have to come in and serve a penalty. You see it in the slow-mo, just locked up on the left front, trying to get her woe down. And once he lifts up off of that brake, the tires grip back up, and, well, he locks it up again here. Very unfortunate situation there for the 13 of Deek.
I mean, I can only just imagine the four-letter adjectives he's saying right now. And I imagine it's something that rhymes with duck.
Could be one of them.
Just saying.
Here's another group of 3 that's closing in on this group of 4 in the lead. Gonna make another pack of 7. Tom Ringer and Todd Parrott come out of the pits right on each other's bumpers. Are they going to be able to stay quick enough to stay with these leaders?
Maybe.
Lesko, Crosby, Yates, and Hinton. Now here comes David Lewis, Brian Sousa. Lewis moves up to the outside. He says, I want the lead. I chased you down from over 5 seconds back, and I want to reap the rewards. Look to the outside, but has no help. Sousa and McIntosh stay with the inside lane. Now that 53 is going to fall towards the back of this group. He just had the fastest lap of the race that time around. He might have been going for that.
He might have just had that run killed also.
Now he's going to fall to the back of this group, but it's not going to hurt him too bad. He's still in contention.
I mean, what a great job by McIntosh, Lewis, and them guys to get up there, to get back up there into that lead pack.
Yeah, really incredible drive to come back from over 5 seconds back. It's definitely a feat to chase down a group bigger than you at Talladega. Saw Martin Truex Jr. do it by himself once at Daytona, but I think that was under different circumstances.
Remember that time that Bill Elliott came from 2 laps down?
I am aware of it. Yeah, I've seen the videos, but can't say I was alive for it.
It was before my time too. So. Not much before my time, but it was before my time.
22 laps to go here. Nate Lesko leads over John Crosby, Brandon Yates, Brandon Hinton, and Brian Sousa. Also in this lead draft is Jonathan McIntosh and David Lewis. 22 seconds back to Thomas Wynn and Sean Dion. And then it's another 17 seconds back to Tom Ringer and Todd Parrott. They're losing some time to these leaders, Alan.
Yeah, I mean, they're 40 seconds back. Cody Deek 1 lap down after that fatal, that fatal pit road error that he wishes he never made, and still,
You make it sound like you killed somebody, Alan. You just spun it out.
He killed the wall.
Not really. He's still able to draft up with these guys. He's 1 lap down behind Tom Ringer and Todd Parrott, but he's actually helping them make speed.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I mean, right now, Cody Deek is hoping for a caution. Not that he likes either his racing, anybody else get a caution, but I mean, that black flag was somewhat detrimental to his race.
And, very costly.
Yeah. So the point I'm trying to make is right now you got to just rein yourself back in, focus, and if you know you're not going to make it back to the lead lap, help out Parent and help out Ringer, get back to the front. And because they're not losing any ground, just like Gwen and Dion, they're not losing any ground. They're still 23 seconds back, but I mean they're not gaining anything either.
Yeah, Ringer, Parent, and Deke, that group is maintaining that 40-second gap. They're about 10 seconds in front of the leaders, but they're maintaining it. So now these guys up in the front starting to get a little bit more separation. John Crosby pushing about 3 car lengths between him and the 66 of Brandon Yates. Huge run getting into the corner, but that's gonna slow these guys down as they work off of turn number 2. Interestingly enough, guys behind him, way behind, they're starting to gain just a little bit. Might be the 3 little engines that could.
I like that. That was great. I like it.
19 laps to go here, and another pit stop out of these top 7, really out of the top 9. So only 3 have come in to make their last pit stop.
January 13th, right here in Sim Racing Media, the Ratfink Racing League kicks off season 54 of the truck season with the Lucas Oil at Lucas Oil Speedway at IRP. 160 laps of high-flying action jet planes in the gymnasium at 10:20 Eastern Time. Liam, that series is a lot of fun.
Oh man, those guys are so much fun on a Tuesday night. They always put on good, clean racing, much like this RFRL league that we're watching right now. Always put on good, clean racing, and we love to see them. We love to hang out on Tuesday nights. And tell you what, man, if you've been missing racing this off season, WSRL on a Tuesday night, that's the place to be.
Yes. And I got to try to stay awake for it. I tried to run a couple races last season. You got to know. I'm going to just pull back the curtain just a little bit before this gets really amped up here. I stopped going deer hunting in my mid-20s. I loved deer hunting, but I told my father, I said, we just got to play to our strength. And our weaknesses, in deer hunting and staying awake is not one of my strengths. So, with WSRL, I'd rather be in the booth than not on the racetrack. They put on phenomenal racing. 54 seasons, though, Liam. They have just as many seasons as Survivor does.
It's incredible stuff, man.
Actually, they have 4 more seasons than Survivor. Think about that. Survivor's getting ready to start season 50. WSRL is getting ready to start season 54.
That is definitely wild. We're hearing rumors here on the radio. We're going to see some pit stops this time around from the lead pack. I tell you what, that alternate strategy of waiting a lap worked for David Lewis that last time. Does anybody try to stay out here and make something happen? Try to shuffle their cards? About to find out.
Here we go. Can this group get on pit road any better? And ooh, Nate Lesko locks him up just a little bit, but I think he blows it down just enough.
Everybody looks to have gotten in pretty clean and green, though. Thomas Wynn, Sean Dion, they're still out here. They made a pit stop on lap number 30 as well. See if they elect to come in this time or if they're going to stay out and try to get into the race lead, maybe hope for a yellow flag. Tom Ringer and Todd Parent with Cody Deke. This is the battle that we're interested in, though, because these guys could potentially get near Nate Lesko, Brandon Hinton. So coming through the tri-oval right now, Lesko's just getting off of the pits, getting into turn number 1. Tom Ringer, Todd Parent just crossing the start-finish line. They're going to pass David Lewis. They're going to pass McIntosh.
If you're Thomas Wynn or Sean Dion, Are you obligated, do you feel like, to stay out and try to win this thing without going into the pits? Or is it you're going to run out of fuel and you're going to have to anyways?
You're absolutely going to run out of fuel if you try to stay out here. You can't.
Okay.
You can't make it work.
I mean, I can't win the Allen Experience bonehead move of the race by trying to make that gamble.
Nate Lesko, all on his lonesome. Brandon Hinton and John Crosby, bumper to bumper here, tandem drafting to try to get up to him. Brian Sousa with Yates behind him. And here comes Todd Ringer, Todd Parent, and Cody Deek. They're going to move up to the outside. Try to keep their momentum. Sousa looked like he was going to try to block that, but stays on the inside.
You know what they say?
Give each other space. Don't want to get a lot of side draft and slow down that momentum on the outside.
I was going to say 6 wheels are better than 4. Whoa, hello. Hi, hello, yeah.
They just hung the 13 out to dry.
Wow.
Thank you. We're going to move forward now. Tom Ringer is just a second and a half behind Nate Lesko and closing in. Thomas Wynn and Sean Dion come in this time around. 14 laps to go. Nate Lesko is going to take 13 to go when he crosses the start-finish line. This is where things are going to start to heat up, Alan. We've got a group of 7 cars once again, plus the lap machine of Cody Deek, who wants his lap back. 13 laps to go. We're going to start seeing things shake up a little bit. We're going to start seeing some pushes. We're going to not see guys lift so much.
No. I mean, 13, you have to go for it. You're not moving forward. You're sitting duck. And right now, there's that 5 car. That's Brandon Hinton there in that number 5 car, who's a multiple-time winner on this series this season. And he is pushing that 20 car for all it's worth. And I'm telling you right now, Jack Crosby's going to be the move that when it comes time to, they're going to step out. He's going to step out if he's in position. But here comes that 7 car draft. Cody Deek bringing up the rear of that draft as he was laying out to dry like yesterday's laundry.
I tell you what, that group has closed together now. Nate Lesko looking for his 4th win on the season. Tom Ringer looking to get his 2nd. Hinton as well, and now you're starting to see a little bit of shuffling there. The Todd machine shaking and moving around. Nate Lesko with a huge push from the 5 getting into turn 3. Guys might start getting a little bit squirrely here.
Got 12 laps left to go in this one. Nate Lesko continues to lead here. They are all back in one cohesive line. And Cody Deek bringing up the rear of this line. He's got to try something. He can't be content with being a lap down. And I tell you what, 11 laps to go, Liam. None of these drivers are going to be content following that 20 car.
You're absolutely right on one thing. They're not going to want to follow that 20. Cody Deek, however, I'm going to have to disagree with you there. He's going to have to pass 7 cars that are racing for a win if he wants to get his lap back so he can come back around and race them. If a caution comes out, I think his best bet at this point is to just stay back here, hope something happens, stay out of it, get that free pass, and you know, he's kind of in a hope and pray situation right now. You know, want to keep the car clean. You don't want to put yourself in any risky situations. As here comes Tom Ringer up to the outside. He's going to try to make a move for 2nd. He's got help from Todd on the outside. That's Todd Parent in the Todd rod. Here comes Lesko up to the outside to block, and now we're going to be 3 wide for 2nd. No, not quite. Todd stays in line. Huge push from Ringer, though, all over the back bumper of Lesko. Gets him a little bit loose through the middle of the corner, but gives him a huge run coming down the back straightaway. Lesko is going to take over the race lead. Tom Ringer moves himself into 2nd. Now Lesko moves back down to the bottom, trying to block the 5 of Brandon Hinton. Here comes Ringer up to the top. He's going to side draft and slow down the 20. They're side by side, maybe looking at 3 wide for the race lead, and we've still got 10 laps to go, coming to 9 when they cross the start-finish line this time.
They're getting a little squirrely. Cody Deek's got to back off. Because if not, he could end up in this accident and lose the lucky dog. I can feel it coming. It's coming. That caution is going to come out sooner or later. It's a 69 car. 68 car get hooked up.
It's certainly a possibility. any point here at Talladega. Here comes Lesko back down to the bottom. There's 3 cars working together on the top. These 3 cars have worked together all day. Here comes Lesko back up to the top to block. He had a huge push from Hinton, and now he's going to take that run up on the top side. He's probably going to move back down before we get into turn 3. Stays right up in front of Ringer, though Hinton doesn't have the momentum. Now Lesko moves down to the bottom to try to take over that line. But here comes Tom Ringer with a huge amount of run coming up off of turn number 4, and he's going to have help from Todd Parent going into the tri-oval. They're coming up on the lap machine of Thomas Wynn, who lost his drafting partner in Sean Dion. So that'll be an obstacle for these guys to move around, and quite possibly somebody else for Cody Deek to race for this free pass. Creating, Alan, one of my favorite things. 2 races in 1 in the lead pack at a Talladega or Daytona event.
Oh, boy. I can tell you right now, these guys are screaming on the radio to Thomas Wynn. Leaders are coming. As Thomas Wynn holding on to the inside there, he needs to go to the outside line and blend into the back of his back.
He's going to hug that
come.
double yellow line. Just going to force the bottom to move up. This is going to create a sketchy situation. 68 trying to use the 71 as a pick, and he does. Nate Lesko has to let off and push the 71. Here comes Tom Ringer to the lead. John Crosby moves up to that outside. Nate Lesko trying to move up to the top. Makes it 3 wide. On the outside of that lap car, Thomas Wynn. And then there goes Todd Parent looking to the inside of Tom Ringer.
Excuse me while I pick my jaw up off the floor after that move, because I know Nate Lesko is not one happy driver right now.
No, he's definitely not. He's going to move up behind Todd Parent, try to push him past the 68. 68 has no help until now. Brandon Hinton gets to his back bumper. Not going to be enough to hold on to the lead, but it'll keep him side by side for second for now as Todd Parent holds on to the lead. Is he going to try to move back down? No, he's going to stay in front of Lesko as they come up now on Sean Dion. Thomas Wynn able to stay with this pack. Is Dion going to be able to as well? Cody Deek starting to fall back just a little bit.
He's going to force her hand, too. Why? Why is he doing that?
Oh, there's a little contact.
Oh, no.
Todd got up into the wall. He's going to race to the lead anyways. John Crosby made it 4 wide for just a moment crossing the start-finish line. Working around the lapped car.
You know, Liam, I typically don't like calling drivers out, but that was borderline boneheaded on the 71 and the 3 to pull that move. They should have went to the outside and let these guys go on by and then filter into the back. They have nothing to gain by doing that.
Yeah, Alan, that's where I have to disagree with you. I think those guys did just fine by staying in the same place. They stayed predictable. They weren't overly nice, they were predictable, and that's what you need when you're racing around 7 or 8 other cars. You want something predictable. You don't want somebody to pull across the racetrack trying to be nice, getting out of your way. At this stage in the game, 5 laps to go with Todd Parent in the lead. I just feel like there's no good way to be a lapped car.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. We can agree to disagree. I like disagreeing with you sometimes. It's fun.
Things single file up front. Lesko falling off of the 69, trying to get a shove here into turn 3 from the 68 of Tom Ringer. Coming up off of turn 4, Crosby and Sousa are trying to make a move up on the outside. They've got Thomas Wynn, and now here comes Ringer looking to the outside of Lesko for second place. Lesko moves up just a little bit. He's going to try to get in line in front of Ringer. He can't do it. Yes, he can.
Oh.
There's going to be some check it up. There's going to be some 3 wide. As the 3, Sean Dion down on the bottom. He's currently in that free pass position, so he's not totally lost in that kerfuffle there. The 2 lapped cars he's racing are a row behind him as now things starting to heat up coming up off of turn number 2. Once again, Nate Lesko takes the lead, but here comes Ringer to his outside with a push from John Crosby.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Things are getting super heated right now as we have a 4-horse battle. Well, an 8-car battle for the lead. 9 cars. 9 cars could win this race, Leo.
Well, if we get a caution, I mean, that number could change too. We got 3 lapped cars up in this pack and 7 of them racing for a win. like I said, 2 different races going on with 3 laps to go. If the caution comes out, that first lap down car is going to get his lap back. Guys behind him are going to be stuck a lap down. But if the caution doesn't come out, these other 7 drivers are racing for a win with Nate Lesko looking up on the top side. He's got a hit from Todd. Ryan Sousa with Thomas Wynn and Cody Deek behind him. Puts Lesko out front by a nose for a moment. Tom Ringer doesn't want to let this go, though. Coming to 2 laps to go here at Talladega.
Yeah, Tom Ringer says, pull this lead from my cold, dead hands and you can have it. He is gripping the steering wheel. It's almost a death grip with 3 laps to go. Popsicle sticks in the air. This time by 2 laps to go. Don't make the move just yet.
Well, these guys are double wide. I mean, the moves are being made. You've just got to try to find the momentum, find a hole, find somewhere you can get. But you don't want to risk your front bumper. Nothing's guaranteed here at Talladega until you get to the checkered flag. Here comes Crosby up to the outside in front of Lesko, trying to take the lead, getting into turn number 3.
This is why I like watching this league. I love this league for this reason. 2 laps to go, racing hard, racing respectable. These guys are racing so hard. They're making moves, making risks. The things you have to do at Talladega as we get ready to come to the white flag. And I don't want to jinx it, but no caution. We're racing back to checkers.
White flag is in the air, Alan. We are officially going to go caution-free here at Talladega. John Crosby holds on to the race lead over Nate Lesko. Lesko falls back. Ringer moves down to the inside. There's contact. Ringer's below the yellow line. He moves back up. They're door to door. They're banging doors down the back straightaway. Getting into turn number 3. Ringer's got himself a bit of a shove for Brandon Hinton, but can he get clear of Lesko? He's going to be clear now. Lesko falls back a little bit. Big push here coming from Hinton. Can Crosby hold on to the race lead? Coming up off of turn number 4. Ringer stays in line behind him. He's going to get a shove from Hinton. Crosby moves up to make the block. Going back to the bottom. A shove to the back from Ringer. Another shove. Ringer's going to get turned across the bumper, but John Crosby wins at Talladega. Brandon Hinton takes 2nd place, and Todd Parent gets 3rd.
Wow.
Tom Ringer's going to come home in 7th after the contact with Hinton, sending him into the inside wall. But John Crosby gets it done here today at Talladega. That is going to be a very popular win in the Crosby fandom here. It's going to be his first win on the season. He came into this race 4th place in points. After a strong season, 3 top 5s, this is going to be his 4th. And of course, capping that off with a victory. Brandon Hinton comes home 2nd. This will be his 3rd top 5 of the season. And in 3rd place, we saw Todd Parent. That's going to be his 3rd top 5 of the season. Phenomenal drive from all of these drivers to come home caution-free at Talladega. Alan, I know I've said a lot of words, but wow is about all I've got.
You know what? Look, granted, one guy crossed the finish line first, but 12 drivers can consider themselves winners tonight because they just went caution-free at undoubtedly one of the hardest tracks on the iRacing service at Talladega. But John Crosby pulls it off as he's going to burn it down with the victory donuts. But none of these guys have nothing to hold their hat on.
I mean, this was an absolutely incredible show. A phenomenal league puts on a phenomenal race. I'd like to say I'm not shocked, but man, that racing was intense, especially getting to the end there. I mean, these guys are slicing and dicing amongst each other, and we only saw 2 incidents throughout the course of this race. So that was Cody Deek spitting out on pit entry, and then, of course, the incident coming to the checkers where Tom Ringer and Brandon Hinton made a little bit of contact.
Absolutely, Liam. I mean, what a way to start off the 2026 portion of the schedule.
Yeah, absolutely incredible. You know, we were supposed to be here last week, and we definitely apologize for that mishap. We Yeah, we deeply apologize. That's not the reputation that we want to have, but we absolutely loved being able to call this race, and we'll be able to talk with your top finishers here in just a moment.
Yeah, as we start getting these guys down here to the broadcast booth here. I'm gonna start doing that.
Go ahead and start with your race winner. Get John Crosby in here. John, it's Liam and Alan up in the booth. You got a copy.
Yeah, how you guys doing?
Doing phenomenal, man. That was an insane race to the win you guys threw together. And what was it like coming up off of turn number 4? Everything that 68 was trying to give you to get around you.
Well, I'll start off by saying that I'm just lucky to be in the contention to win at Talladega and like Daytona and stuff like that. It's just a Hail Mary really, and just a whole bunch of luck. But coming off of 4, I knew I just had to kind of block for my life and block every which way and see where the runs were coming. So I was doing everything I could up there.
Yeah, we're currently riding on board with you watching these blocking moves from your rear view. Absolutely incredible stuff. But what does it mean to get your first win on the season? You've had a consistent season so far with already 3 top 5s. This will be your 4th, but your first win on the year.
Yeah, it's been a rough, kind of middle. I mean, I don't know. This league it's tough. Suit a lot of good guys. But it definitely means a lot, and especially with like Nate and Ryan and Tom and all these guys. So definitely means a lot to me.
Well, awesome stuff. Before we let you go, is there anybody else you want to give a shout out to or thank for such a strong race here, such a phenomenal finish at Talladega?
Yeah, definitely my teammate Brian Souza. He's fantastic. Couldn't ask for a better teammate. We tried to get together there, and I kind of left him out to dry, or not to dry, but kind of left him out there, and I felt bad. But then Todd came back up, and he had some help, so I wasn't too worried about it, but kind of felt bad after that. But he made it up there. I think he got 6th, I think, so not a bad showing.
Well, awesome stuff, John. Congrats again on your first win on the season. We'll
Awesome.
hopefully be talking to you again next week.
Hey, let's cross our fingers. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate it.
All right, and then Alan, I think we're gonna have Brandon Hinton with you.
Oh, we just did the same thing.
Oh, nice. I'll let you get it.
Brandon, it's Alan and Liam up in SRM booth. How's it going?
Good. How about you guys?
Hey, man, look, you guys, a round of applause to the whole 12-car field in general. What a race that you guys put on, and what a race for second that you put on. Pushing your teammate to the, pushing that 73 car to the win here tonight. How does that make you feel for such a good run like that?
Yeah, that was strange having no cautions on a plate race. Even with 12 cars, that's still saying a lot. That was a lot of fun, and I hate that Tom got he came across my nose, and that sucks that he didn't get the finish that he probably deserved. But yeah, we'll take a P2, get out of Talladega on a wild card race where anything could happen, and go on and take our P2.
Definitely, and coming off that New Year's holiday, and coming in here at Talladega, getting the 2026 portion of the schedule started off in the right direction. What does that do for your momentum heading into the latter part of the season?
Yeah, it's just about building momentum. That's what it takes to win these championships. It's just you got to be there at the end of these races and not take yourself out of them. So you just build on each race, and if you can top 5s, top 3s, win, that'll catapult you for the season-ending for the championship.
Look, man, before we get you out of here, who do you want to thank and who helps you get it done here on this 5 machine?
Oh, Hinton Motorsports, for one, brought a fast car, of course. But no, Ratfink for putting on the league, and you guys for doing the broadcast. You guys are amazing.
Awesome job. Well, congratulations on that P2, and we'll talk to you next week, hopefully.
Thank you, guys.
And that was Brandon Hinton. We're going to get him down there. And
All right, and then we've got Todd Parent here in the Todd Hot Rod number 69, coming home in 3rd place here at Talladega. How are you doing today?
Oh man, doing good. That was a wild last few laps for sure.
Walk us through your perspective there. I mean, you were kind of in the heat of the battle there everywhere, racing for the win, racing around some of those lapped cars. It didn't really seem like there was any reprieve in those last 10 or 11 laps.
Yeah, we pitted a little early and we lost one of our teammates, and we thought we was going to go a lap down there, but he helped us get back up there, and then he ended up backing off. But I mean, I wasn't even really paying attention to who was who. I was just trying to stay up there in the top 5 at least.
You guys did an incredible job. What was that effort that came together by you, Tom, and also Cody Deek there to get back up to the front?
Yeah, we pitted early, like I said, and then we ended up catching him because he spun entering pit. So we ended up luckily caught him, so we was able to hold our position and not get lapped. Then when everybody pitted, we ended up getting back in the bunch. So and then we just went up front from there.
On that last run coming up off of turn 4, you were in 5th place. Made a huge run to come through and take away 3rd. Did the gates just open up in front of you there?
Yeah, I had a little run coming off before, coming down, and then I just took it 3 wide on the outside and passed up. I think it was Nate. I think it was. Yeah, Nate.
Just got him at the line, yeah.
Yeah, it's like I think he lost some momentum or something because I had a pretty good run. So looked up and came home 3rd.
Well, yeah, had a phenomenal race and a phenomenal comeback to get back up into that lead pack. Who helps the Todd get it done?
Ratfink Racing. We just getting this started, and then we all help each other out. So we got to thank them.
Well, awesome stuff, Todd. Congratulations on the top 3, continuing your momentum, your 3rd top 5 of the season. Hopefully we'll be talking to you again next week.
Yep. Hope so. Victory Lane, hopefully.
Yes, sir. We'll see you.
All right. Thank y'all.
All right, well, that is going to about do it for us here on Sim Racing Media. We've got your results here on the left side of the screen. John Crosby gets it done over Brandon Hinton, Todd Parent, Nate Lesko, and Brian Sousa. Brandon Yates comes home in 6th. Tom Ringer goes from 2nd to 7th in just a couple hundred feet at the end. Not the finish he wanted. David Lewis, Jonathan McIntosh, and Sean Dion round out the top 10. Thomas Wynn and Cody Deek round out the field. Diego Acuna showed up for the registration, so we'll give him a little note there as well. We can't thank you guys enough for tuning in here live on Sim Racing Media once again. These guys put on absolutely incredible racing, and we're going to be right back next week at Kentucky to bring you more incredible racing with the Ratfink Racing League. But before we jump on out of here, we've always got to say, as you guys walk through the streets of life, please don't play in traffic. Have a good night, folks.